Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So, what's going on today? Why are the Bitcoin whales dumping? What is happening exactly? This is a day before 4th of July. 4th of July Eve. I don't know if anyone says that, but let's discuss what is going on today. The U.S. markets have an early close today too, so let's digest. If my screen will work. There we go. Welcome, guys. Take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin has come up a little bit. It broke below 60,000, went to like 59.5, and now it's coming up to 60,300, right? So overall, about the same as yesterday, a little bit lower. Okay, some of the alts are bleeding out today. So what are the reasons why Bitcoin is going down? Just yesterday, we hit almost 64,000, 63.7, and now we're back down to 60,000, right? And I know a lot of people are frustrated. So, I mean, in terms of the U.S. market, it's turning green, so that is good. But we did get some encouraging data, sort of, okay? A lot of economic data is pretty bad right now. Private payrolls grew by just 150,000, came in below estimate, way below estimate of 160,000. Okay, that means that less people got jobs, which is bad. Initial jobless claims went up higher than expected. Okay, so that's 2 for 2, bad news. And then jobless claims surged 1.84 million in a week, ending in June 15th, the highest level since 2021. Well, that's also bad. Okay, so we got a lot of bad economic data. So that is good. Very, very good. You know why? Because this gives Powell ammunition to cut rate, right? So that's what we want. We want bad economic news, and then we want inflation numbers to go down. So the next thing that we need to look forward to is like the CPI. And if the CPI shows we're going down, then, you know, Powell has no choice but to start cutting rates early, right? So we're in one of those bizarro times where bad economic data is actually good for markets. You can see right there, weak economic data right at the on top, right? That's actually a good thing right now. And I know it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but whenever it comes to rate cuts, that's how Wall Street sees it. Sometimes they have to go by what's the opposite of good or bad, right? So I guess that's good. That's good. But what caused Bitcoin to go below 60,000 today, right? Because everything I just said is good, because once we get a rate cut, that's going to be a huge catalyst for all markets to start going crazy upwards, including crypto market. But today, what drove it below, right? Well, just briefly. Well, a lot of people think it has to do with Mt. Gox, okay? What is going on with Mt. Gox? We know that the trustee said that in July, the 140,000 Bitcoin that they have, he's going to start distributing. So that's exactly what's happening right now, okay? It does seem like there are a lot of creditors. Just they could be companies, they could be individuals, whoever. There are a lot of distributions right now. Just a few days ago, they moved $9 billion worth of Bitcoin, okay? Mt. Gox did. And now you're starting to see a whole lot of Bitcoin being deposited into various exchanges like Binance. So, for example, some whale deposit 1,000 Bitcoin, 62 million to Binance. And then some other whale deposits 1,700, which is 106 million to Binance, right? And of course, the prices started dropping shortly afterwards. So it does seem like there are large whales right now selling. And now we are speculating, okay, that it's probably due to Mt. Gox. And Mt. Gox is giving out the larger amounts to these people, and maybe these people are selling. But it could be that it has nothing to do with Mt. Gox and just due to fear some whales are selling. We don't know. So I guess we'll have to see the rest of this month, besides Germany still selling, whether or not we're going to see a huge amount of large deposits into Binance and other exchanges. If we continue to see them, then most likely I think we can make the conclusion that it is the Mt. Mt. Gox distribution, right? So I think that's exactly what's happening right now. And you could see, despite the fact that ETFs are net positive, yesterday was very small, only minus 14 million outflow, but BlackRock still continued to buy. So right now, despite the fact that Wall Street is still trying to eat up what is being sold, it's hard to overcome some of these whales, especially like Germany that's dumping on the open market, right? And some of these whales are dumping on the open market too. So that's what's happening, right? Now, there could be a chance this is all done on purpose also. It has nothing to do with Mt. Gox because there is a big closing, okay? There's a CME Gap that just hit. And of course, we always know that there are a lot of futures and options at play, right? That always happens. Every single month, we do have some manipulation going on to hit certain levels. But you know what? We did close out this CME Gap. A lot of people don't understand what a CME Gap. This came out of 2017 when futures were introduced. Because a normal stock market does have openings and closings, there are times when, say, the market closes and Bitcoin shoots up or shoots down and there's a big gap when it does open again, right? So there's this phenomenon where if you have this gap, you need Bitcoin to either come down or go above and hit it once again to close the gap, okay? So a lot of people think this was done on purpose to close that CME Gap that we had right around $60,000, like that, okay? Well, okay. So if that was the case, that's done, right? But, again, we do not know that's exact reason why, or none of what I just said has anything to do with anything. And it was just due to technicals or due to some whales just randomly selling, right? But if I had to guess, I really do think that it's probably, now we're seeing a little bit more sell pressure, probably from the Mt. Gox people, right? That maybe the large amounts that were distributed are being sold off by companies that own them and they really need them, right? So if I had to guess, that's the reason. But you know what? Is this going to drive Bitcoin significantly lower? Is it going to drive Bitcoin to 30,000, 40,000, low 50s, mid 50s? At this point in time, I'm going to say no. I think Bitcoin is resilient. Just like I showed with Wall Street inflows, there are a lot of people that recognize this is a golden opportunity to buy. And that's because a lot of people realize that, hey, that's what you're supposed to do. You buy low and you sell high. You don't buy high and sell low, right? And there are a lot of smart money that are doing that, which is why you do hear a lot of big banks and institutions and companies that are still buying, like Standard Chartered, right? I covered this yesterday. You got one of the biggest banks that has close to $1 billion in assets, right? Saying that Bitcoin is going to hit an all-time high by August. This is from a bank, right? And the CEO could not be more bullish on Bitcoin. And we know MicroStrategy is continuing to do it. Metaplan is starting to do it. And other major companies around the world are starting to look at a Bitcoin strategy, adding Bitcoin to their balance sheet, right? Because these guys are starting to understand. Just like retail, just like the long-term holders, they understand that when things are scary, when things are down, right, that's when you're supposed to buy. Buy the dip, right? It's like your favorite grocery store item or a favorite box item store or favorite, Amazon item. Now 20, 30% off, right? You should love it more now than before. That's how you should look at it, because throughout Bitcoin's history, we do have a lot of FUD. Sometimes we do have selling. Sometimes it just seems like nothing is going right and it could all collapse. And usually when you can't take it anymore and you're about to sell, you're on the verge of selling, or you do cause yourself to sell due to the FUD, that's usually when things turn around. It just happens every single time, right? Because things aren't as bad as they seem. They never are. There's a lot of scary headlines, but they're never as bad as it seems, because we still have so many glorious things happening in this space, including all the buying that I mentioned, right? The fundamentals are great. We still have more and more countries and ETFs coming out. And in fact, Germany is listing a new Bitcoin ETP, despite the fact the German government is still trying to dump their Bitcoin. So that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Well, I guess it's different departments, but still. You have Australia now that has the ETF. You have Canada that had it. Wall Street has it. Hong Kong has it. Germany and many other parts of the world are opening up their own ETF so that retail investors and institutions alike can get exposure to Bitcoin, right? That's going to be fantastic. You want to get into Bitcoin before 8 billion people do, right? It's still so early. Most people you talk to still do not hold any Bitcoin. Although I will say, during my travels, when I talk to people, there are a lot more people today than say 2017 or even 2021 that hold Bitcoin. There are a lot of people that you just don't know, right? Until you ask. You would never figure they have any Bitcoin, but they do, right? But we're not at 8 billion yet. You want to make sure you load up as much as you can before 8 billion people become exposed to Bitcoin. That's how you do it, right? Now, a lot of charts, interesting charts, good charts. Here's one from Plan B that shows where we are in this cycle, and you could see the dots here, okay? If you look at the very right side, that's where we are. We have kind of formed like a dark red dot, okay? And if you could see, where was this before in the last cycle? Well, Bitcoin was much lower in price, okay, the last cycle. And same thing with 2017 and about 2013 was the only time it was a little bit higher. But what this is showing is we still have many dots to go, which means that we still have a ton of upside. That's not here yet. We got a ton of upside that will be coming in the remainder of this year and next year. So this is definitely not time to be scared out of the market, okay? This is definitely time to load up when you can, because we have a lot of upside left and you don't want to miss it. Again, putting things in perspective, we're about 5% past our current halving, which only came a few months ago, right? And if you look at what's happening right now, and you look at what happened after the last halving, and the last halving, you'll realize that we're doing exactly the same thing. After the last halving, about 5% in, Bitcoin also dipped. And Bitcoin was nowhere close to its previous high, unlike this time around. And you look at the 5% after the halving before that, Bitcoin also dipped and nowhere close to all-time high it previously formed, right? So we are doing exactly the same as before, but we're accelerated in this cycle because of the ETFs. Okay, so again, when in doubt, zoom out and realize that the fundamentals of Bitcoin and even the technicals of Bitcoin right now are extremely, extremely strong. And the macro conditions, not only in the US, but around the world, will be getting better, and that overall will help Bitcoin as well. When the money starts flowing, you may have noticed, I cover these rates, not just from the US. ECB just cut their rate. Bank of England's going to cut soon. Japan is doing something about their currency. There was one other country that, Switzerland, I think, cut their rate, right? And the US will cut their rate too. So what does this mean? You're going to have massive amount of liquidity swashing around in the market soon, right? And a lot of that is going to go into crypto and Bitcoin because nothing outperforms Bitcoin. Even at 60,000, the year-to-date performance of Bitcoin or year-over-year performance of Bitcoin is still greater than anything else out there. By far. It's not even close, right? So, last thing I'll show you about Bitcoin is this. Again, you know, when in doubt, zoom out and you look at some of the patterns, right? You realize that we are doing exactly the same as before. This is comparing us to 2 cycles ago. And you may have noticed, well, look at what happened, right? Look at what happened before. After a bear market, then you have a little rise, then you have the halving event, right? And look at after the halving event, how long before Bitcoin started going higher, before it finally broke through its previous high, and then it never looked back, right? Look at where we are right now. We're a little ahead of the game and much higher than before because where it broke all-time high didn't happen before. It never happened before. We've never broken through all-time high before prior to a halving event. We did that this time around, right? Again, we're not in a parabolic phase yet. Once we do get there, it's going to be marvelous, right? So that's why we hodl. We stay strong, focus on the future, and hodl for life-changing wealth that will be coming to those that have diamond hands and patience, right? That's really it. That's really it. Now, last few things I want to talk about Ethereum. Ethereum ETFs still around the corner. The approval could be coming this month, and we may get Ethereum spot ETFs trading by the end of this month. So what does that mean for Ethereum? Well, some think that after spot Ethereum ETFs come out, that it may outperform Bitcoin. I don't know. I don't know if that's the case. It could be. It could be because there's a lot of enthusiasm over it, and then maybe Wall Street starts buying, and maybe we do get Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin. I have a hard time seeing that, but who knows? We have seen periods where ETH dominance starts going up, and it could happen, right? So that's also something to look forward to, because regardless if it does or it doesn't outperform Bitcoin, that still means a lot of money, billions coming into the market, right? And that's a good thing. That's a very, very good thing. And right now, in case you're wondering, the Ethereum network itself earns more than double the revenue of Bitcoin, right? And that makes sense. That makes sense. The ETH fees are high. There are still a lot of people that are trading memes on ETH, and there are still a lot of activity going on ETH. It does make a whole lot of sense. Now, lastly, I just saw this. I mean, you see the headline here on Cointelegraph. I don't know anything about this game, but I will say this. Games like this, you know, I've always said the game revolution or the gaming niche has not taken off in crypto, and there's a lot of traditional games, Web3 games, they're not doing well, right? But now you have this new trend where, you know, you have these click to earn games that Telegram and Ton have made famous of, and they are doing crazy things like this Hamster Kombat. I've never played it, don't know about it, but it is the third fastest app in history to reach 150 million users. 150 million users. And they also run some kind of YouTube channel that has attained 20 million subscribers in the fastest time ever. I think that they're cheating somehow because it's like some in-game mechanics makes them watch a video or subscribe or something. That's why. So they're kind of like gaming the system. But nevertheless, that's crazy. That's crazy. And they don't have a token yet. And they will airdrop soon. But my point is this, right? When it comes to crypto, there's always like new development or new fads that come. And sometimes they work. And that's why Toncoin, I've been covering Toncoin a lot recently. That's the reason why Toncoin is so hot, right? They're actually not thriving due to memes. They're thriving due to these viral games, which, hey, if it works, if it drives in 150 million users, that's absolutely fantastic, right? So it's like, you know, the point of this is the space is still very early. A lot of things are still being developed right now, right? People are trying to figure out what works, what doesn't, and it's great. It's great to see that there's new innovation happening in the space that's driving a whole lot of users and volume to a chain that not a whole lot of people were paying attention to, right? So it's good. Good overall. All right, let's do some Q&A. Happy July 3rd, everyone. All right, let's scroll. Got a good audience today. All right, there's a whole lot of comments. Scrolling. A lot of people talking about Tesla doing very well today. Benito, BLUM just reached 30 million users. Okay. Benito, I can't compare because I don't even know about the other click games. I haven't even tested them out yet, so I really can't tell. But if this is BLUM, it's not. Is it this one? It can't be that one. I don't know which one you're talking about. It can't be this one, like Blue Mel. That doesn't make sense. Yeah. I don't know which one. I don't know how Hamster Kombat is doing it. They're forcing people to go like subscribe to their channel. So they're taking advantage, that's for sure. I just realized my camera's very dark. There we go, a little better. Why am I still holding Cardano? I don't know. You know, sometimes you just gotta make a move. But hey, Cardano is still holding above 10. Charles is very excited about new things. He's gonna be speaking at Rare Evo. So, you know, there may still be a chance for them to reclaim their momentum. Do I expect a Trump pump? Yes, I do. I think after the elections, if you look at, I had a chart before. I don't have it with me now. Generally speaking, when does Bitcoin start pumping after a halving event? It's after elections. Every single halving event happens to fall on a presidential elections year because it's every 4 years. And there's this phenomenon, if you look at when Bitcoin actually starts moving, where's the thing? It's usually after elections. That's when it moves. So I think we may be seeing the same thing this time, maybe a little bit earlier. I think like September, October timeframe, we're going to see that resurgence. And after November is when we really start kicking in high gear. Max says, I bought 100K in Filecoin at $10, now down over 50K. Should I sell and cut my losses or hold for possible recovery? You know, that's tough. That's tough. Filecoin is still down like 90-something%, right? There's a lot more competition for DPIN and for storage overall. But, you know, there's always a chance. They're working on becoming an L1 or L2. And, you know, in a bull market, things can change really quickly. So I can't tell you what to do, but a lot of times when you give up on something, you regret it later, right? Oliver's asking about Algorand. I don't really hear anything good about Algorand. I heard they bought Napster. Did you guys hear that? Algorand bought Napster. Yeah, and I don't know what they're gonna do with that. They bought Napster like, they bought it last year. I just heard about it now. And they bought LimeWire. What are they doing? Yeah, I really don't know what they're doing. I really don't. I hear it's kind of a mess. Buying Napster is like buying Blockbuster. Yeah, it's just they're just buying a name. Now what they do with that name, no one knows, right? Just like Ty Lopez bought Radio Shack and tried to make a coin out of it and then failed miserably. A lot of these guys just buy the names, right? At MCT, people were down bad. Why don't they sell and harvest a tax loss and rebuy? Yeah, you could do that. But I think the question is whether or not they, first of all, have any gains so that they could report, so they could deduct. And two is, do they really want to buy back the same thing, right? Is it time to shift to a faster horse? Sometimes it is. Is ATI protocol dead? Just keeps dropping in price. I do notice that a lot of the hot AI coins or hot, IDO coins have dipped a lot in the last month or two, right? I think it's normal. A lot of alts have dropped. Okay, it's just people with lettuce hands selling. Jamie, I'm not so sure about that. Bangkok Bert. I bought 10 Bitcoins at 29,000. Congratulations. It's $290,000 right there. Thinking about taking profits in 2025. Thoughts? Hey, you already more than doubled your money. In 2025, Bitcoin can hit 200, 300,000, which means you would be up 10x. And I do think taking profits is important. If you don't have a cash pile, right? Like right now, I suggest 20, 25, 30% cash. As we go higher in price, you want to increase that cash pile, maybe up to 50%, maybe up to 75%. I think it's prudent to leave some in crypto, never to sell all of it out, but I think it's also smart to build that cash pile as we go higher, right? So in case we do come back down, you'll be able to rebuy and get even more Bitcoin, right? Are ordinals dead? It seems like anything that's kind of like, you know, anything that's relating to memes, like ordinals, runes, like the memes on Bitcoin or memes in general have been decimated over the last few months. Doesn't mean that they're dead. Just right now, a lot of retail investors are panic selling everything. If the stock market is closed tomorrow, crypto will pump because we're the only game in town. Anthony, I'm not so sure that's actually legit. It could, but I don't think that's the reason why. Okay, the Hawk Tua thing is way, way, way overplayed at this point in time. I saw Shaq met her, and she was at some Nashville concert or something like that. Your thoughts on Tesla's robotaxi, which will never probably come, because FSD is nowhere close of being finished. Let's see. Tesla is doing well today, so let's pull it up here. Tesla up 3%. They were up like 10% today, so they're back to 240, which pleases many people. So they're about back to their 6-month high. So they've been down for 6 months. They went as low as $140. So good for them. Today, let's see. Coinbase is down a little bit. Coinbase is down about 1%. Looking like it may want to flip. MicroStrategy's up. Nvidia is down. Nvidia is taking a break after breaking into new high territory. So they topped out around 135. Man, I don't know what I did to my shoulder. I can't raise it up. Anyways, have I driven an X3 M40i? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I have, Brendan. I'm pretty sure I have. X3s drive well. All BMWs drive well. GameStop is doing well too today. Chances that Musk will produce the X phone, the phone carrier business and phone business itself is not easy, right? Even Amazon tried to come out with the Fire phone and they discontinued that in like 3 months, right? It's tough. It's tough to be able to compete with iPhone and Galaxy, Samsung Galaxy, because they have a cycle of producing a new phone every single year. And they have that nailed down, right? Even with Elon's influence, I don't think a phone would be successful. It's better to concentrate on the Optimus robot and perfecting FSD. That would be much better. Arrow is a good project, Lowe says. Just has big competition from all other dexes that's already established. It could pull off a Uniswap. You know, the thing is, I don't think it's going to pull off a Uniswap. And here's why. Because all the base coins are on Uniswap. There's really no reason to use Arrow. That's the thing. Kevin, is 150K Bitcoin conservative estimates? Yeah, I would say so. I would say on the low side, it's not conservative. I'd say 150 to 250. That's the range I would put it at. So it's on the low side, but you know, I don't think anyone would complain that Bitcoin ended at 150 by the end of 2025. But there's a good chance it could hit 150 by the end of the year. And that's not even just me saying that. That's like Tom Lee of Fundstrat that went on CNBC and told everyone that, right? And there are many others that think so too. Have I opened any longs? Yes. I just keep throwing on 3 to 5x on all the exchanges I use. Like any additional money that I get, I just throw it into like a 3x, 5x. I've been putting the Bitcoin, Sol, and Ton. Sol and Ton have been doing really well. BTC has not climbed up yet. So that's what I'm doing now. I don't want to like try to trade it with like a 15, 20x. I just leave it at 3 to 5x right now, and it's really hard to get liquidated at 3 to 5x at this point in time, especially 3x. Alex, you're gonna have to rewind, man. I'm not gonna repeat that. I just made a whole segment about that. When ETH ETFs? Well, it's predicted that it could come in weeks. So we may actually get spot Ethereum ETFs by the end of this month or maybe even next month. Richard James says, has everyone gone crazy? I don't know. Not everyone, but a lot of people are. Larry says, it is shocking that in everyday life, most people have no clue of what crypto even is. Well, here's the thing, okay? A lot of people don't even invest. So you may say, well, do you know what a stock is? And they're like, yeah, but do you own any stocks? No. Most people on the planet do not invest. They do 9 to 5, they earn their income, and then they pay bills, and that's it. Most people do not have any savings. Most people do not have excess cash to invest. So any of you guys that are here that already have started investing in crypto, you're way, way, way ahead of the game. But like I said, I've been meeting people on my travels, normal people, and there are people that are investing in Bitcoin. You know, there are a lot more people investing in Bitcoin these days than ever before. But still a small amount of the population. Retro Bill, have you driven any Ferraris or have opinion on them? I mean, yes, because I own one. I own a 2022 F8. It looks gorgeous. It's almost too tame. It drives like a luxury car. But when you push it, it's on rails. and the exhaust is kind of quiet. I think most Ferraris are like that. They don't make the exhaust very loud. You have to put on some aftermarket exhaust. You know, a lot of you guys know about Shahil, right? So Shahil's like the one that's rugging all the celebrity coins. Whether he's truly the one behind it or he's a scapegoat, I don't know. But he was going to fight in the IFC, and then his X account got banned. So I didn't make him an offer because I think he's going to be too toxic for the IFC. So, but I'm glad he's now off X, so I don't have to worry about that. TPH, after bills are paid out of 2,500, how much would you put into crypto? Hey, I can't tell you that. You have to determine that, right? Even, even my DCA portfolio that I show you guys every Wednesday, right? Which is today. Is it today or tomorrow? It's today. I don't know if I'm streaming tonight. Maybe. But I put $100 in that DCA portfolio. It's a sample portfolio, but still, I put in $100 every week, right? And it's still up like 50, 60%. So, but had I put $1,000 or $10,000, the percentage gains is the same. It would still be up 50, 60%. It's just a matter of how much money you have to put in, right? Don't ever put in more than what you can afford to lose, meaning never buy crypto on credit, on debt. Buy with cash, excess cash that you have. Are you going to do a video on your house finish? No, I'm not. Because I have too many crazies that try to find out where I live, and stuff like that. And I have people visit me before. I don't want any of that. I could do I've been meaning to do like a garage review or something, or my backyard review of the pool or something. I could do stuff like that, but I'm not gonna do like a whole house thing. Um, can you do a video ranking your top project for this bull cycle? Yeah, I used to do that all the time. I used to go through the whole list. I haven't done that in a while. I may do that one of these days. Maybe one of these weeks. Yeah, one of these weeks I may do that. But the problem is like most people don't care. Like when you go through a list, like right now, most 24 hours is in the red, right? And a lot of them are down for the week and a month. A lot of times when you go through a list like that, no one really cares. Right now, everyone just cares about Bitcoin. Very little people actually search for any alts or cryptos. So usually, generally speaking, it's better to go through down the list when the market is roaring. think that's it. You guys are so quiet. You guys are not asking any questions. Ernesto says, bro, you're so boring today. Well, that's better you being boring every day. How about that, Ernesto? What do you say about that? Let's bring up Rand's meme coin for fun. See, this is the reason why I don't want to bring up my own meme, right? Because this is what happens, especially in a bad market. Yeah, this is the reason why I don't come out with my own meme. But he does have another one now. His new one is like baked or something. A baked gummy. Start out hot, now it's holding. Can it hold? I don't know. You gotta stake your gummy to get it or something, but it obviously haven't helped gummy. What's Andrew Tate's? Is it Daddy? Man, that's pathetic too. Daddy hit like, I don't know, like 500 million or something, or 400 million, down to 100 million. Even Tate can't shill a meme up to 1 billion. What's Moonshot? Moons? Sailor Moons? No. Yeah, whatever. I don't know what moon is. Fifth nail. Yeah, I saw your email. I just figured it's not worth the time. It's too hard to figure out. I already finally got the 5 cards done. So it is what it is. I don't want to. I was trying very hard to just get the other fights filled, so I'm good with that. Full sum hodl, no way Biden wins. Even my left-sided parents are thinking, what the heck, after debate. You know, I don't know if you guys see the viral clip of Biden back in 2019 and 2020 when he was speaking. Like, he spoke well. He aged incredibly horrible in 5 years. Yeah. There's no way. I think the Democrats have to find someone to replace him. There's no way in hell he could survive another 4 years in office. Zero chance. Retro Bill. I actually never reviewed that FA in my card channel. That was my 360. I actually showed it on this channel one time. Yeah, I've been meaning to review it. I haven't reviewed it yet. Vinny, you are so wrong. You say this is looking the worst season for crypto history so far. I have no idea where you're getting that from. Zero. You are so off base there. Jack Ferreira, thank you, appreciate it. Are you planning on going to Token 24/9 Singapore? If so, is there a chance to buy you a drink? Maybe if you bump into me. Yeah, I will be going. I'll be walking around, checking it out. I'll be attending all the events, side events, and parties and shit. Man, hotels are expensive. I just booked 2 rooms and it was like $10,000. It's crazy. And that's not including airfare. So I got to figure out which airline to take, which is probably another at least $10,000. It's gonna be an expensive trip, and plus Crowded Combat's gonna be there. The next IFC 4 will be there. IFC 3 is this month in Nashville. IFC 4 will be Singapore, and that's the big one. That's the one no one wants to miss. That's the one where you go see some huge names fight. Well, yeah, I say 10K because I'm flying business or first class. I don't do the peasant stuff. I don't fly economy. Dopey Dave, appreciate that. I wish there was a way to just teleport across the world. I do not look forward to a 22-hour flight. Never been to Nashville. How's out there? I've been to it once. I skipped through the city to go to the Smoky Mountains, but I've never lived or been in Nashville. So I don't know. I hear it's supposed to be the Vegas and Midwest. I think that's completely BS. Um, but we'll see how it is. Hopefully it's not too boring. Because if it is, I'll never go back again. You guys need to have a sense of humor, okay? Crypto Alex says, not a humble guy lost a sub. You know, I'm gonna help you out. Anyone that threatens to like unsubscribe, I immediately ban on this channel. Crypto Alex, bye-bye. And I don't know if you were joking or not, but I take that shit seriously. If SpaceX gets their international rockets going, would you try one? No. No, because the chance of it exploding is still very, very high. Teleportation would mean that you die every time. They're essentially reborn once the atoms are reconfigured. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of true if you think about it. Basically, teleportation means that you're destroying, you're killing yourself, and you're cloning yourself at the other end. But as long as you can still have the same memories and everything, then it's good. And you figure teleportation could actually be a good thing too, because it can destroy all your bad, like if you have cancerous cells and stuff, and if it could just like get rid of those too while you're teleporting, man, that would be great. Your soul gets left behind. It'll be wild. You know, there's a lot of movies that showcase, you know, in certain instances, you could get a clone or something of yourself. It'll be so wild because if you make a clone of yourself, they have the same experiences, but from that point on, it's a different person, and he's going to be experiencing different things. And it doesn't mean that your clone is going to listen to you. They're probably not. If they are you, they're not going to listen to you. So then the clone just goes off and does his own thing. And it's weird because then they have to start over. You know, the whole concept of having a clone is wild if you think about it. I did not watch Dark Matter on Apple. I just haven't had time. You know, I've been trying to find family shows, right, to watch with my kids. And I just remembered I scrolled upon Heroes. I don't know if you guys remember Heroes, but that show was so good. And then it just ended badly again. But I'm going to start watching that again. That was like before The Boys, right? And it was a really good superhero show. It was on NBC back in the day. It's pretty old. It's like 15 years old now. Do I watch NHL? No, I do not. Yeah, so I'm gonna start watching Heroes with them. I think it'll be a good show. We finally got done with Breaking Bad. I didn't start Better Call Saul with the kids because I think they're gonna be bored out of their mind. Better Call Saul was a much more boring show than Breaking Bad even in season 1 and 2. So I don't think they'll get into that. Homelander is not a great hero. I really want to know. I could kind of guess how the boys are going to end. I'm just gonna speculate, but um, you know they kind of already alluded to the virus, but you know they already said the virus is not strong enough for Homelander. I don't know why they think that if they haven't tried it on him, that doesn't make sense. I don't think it's gonna be the virus. I think it's gonna be the girl from Gen V, which we haven't seen yet. They start introducing the other people from Gen V. If you guys haven't watched it yet, you need to watch it before the final season. I think it's gonna be that girl that has the blood powers. I think she's gonna be the one ultimately to take down Homelander, which will be weird. Her and Butcher somehow figure it out. X-Men 97. I tried watching it with them, like season 1, just the first episode. They weren't very interested in it. We did. I think we did watch Back to the Future. I've never watched Sopranos, so I can't tell you how bad the ending was. Usually, like really good shows end really poorly. Like Lost was horrible ending. Breaking Bad's ending was probably the best for any good show. Seinfeld's ending was horrible. I think Heroes was bad if I remember it correctly too. Um, Lucifer. Not a whole lot of people talking about Lucifer. That was a great show, and the ending was sappy. It wasn't that good either. Game of Thrones was absolutely horrible. I cannot believe how bad Game of Thrones was. It was so bad. So bad. There was a petition to redo the last season because the last season was just so bad and the ending was horrible There was a petition to just redo it all. They should. They should, kind of like Snyder Cut of Justice League. They should come out with like a different ending or something. I have not watched the season 2 of House of the Dragon, but House of the Dragon season 1 was just nowhere near as good. Yeah, Dexter's ending was horrible, but then they came out the new season of Dexter like last year or something after a 10-year break, and then it ended even worse. It was so bad. Like the original Dexter ending was he like sails off into the ocean and there's a storm, right? And then somehow 10 or 20 years later, there's another season of Dexter, and I thought, great, you know, they could continue this on, and then it ended even worse. It was just like, I don't know what they were thinking, why they even came out with another season of Dexter. It was just the worst thing ever. Don't watch the new Dexter. It'll just piss you off if you're a Dexter fan. I remember Angel too. Like when I was in my 20s, I think I liked that show, and that had the worst ending also. One of the worst endings ever. There's no good shows that had epic endings if you think about it. It's just like the storyteller, the show writers, they don't know how to end it. Supernatural was my favorite show. One of my favorite shows ever. And they ended season, I don't know, whatever, 15, 20. The way they ended it was also really bad. They rushed it. It was good until it wasn't. Supernatural was a go-to show too, back in the day. But then it got really weird. But it was a go-to show too. Netflix has a Black Mirror spinoff called Nightmares and Daydream. Interesting. Nothing worse than watching a show that gets canceled. Yeah, that's right. American's Last Patriot. If you start watching Breaking Bad, just know that season 3 is when it starts getting good. Season 1 and 2 were very boring, but you need to watch them to understand. Season 3 is when it gets addictive. Season 4, you can't stop watching. And season 5 is like probably all-time great. Like that good for season 5. Walking Dead started out really good, and then it got really bad. All right, I'll let you guys go. Enough TV chat. Enjoy your July 3rd. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to be streaming tonight. Maybe, maybe not. We'll see if there's anything to talk about. But, you know, Mt. Gox whales, maybe dumping. Okay, maybe not. But you know what? You never want to give up on Bitcoin. Bitcoin does not care about your feelings. Bitcoin continues to do its thing. It's pure, driven by code, and it's scarce. So, stay strong, my friends. I'll see if I see you guys tonight. Maybe. And then we'll do DCA day. DCA night. All right. Have a good one. Take care.